All right, welcome into the show. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Alabama continues to roll into Week 5. They're 4-0 on the season after beating Texas A&M 45-23. Got a great show lined up for you today. Wanted to pipe in Nick Saban's press conference while we let everybody get into the show. We're going to talk offensive and defensive stats from Week 4. We're going to talk offensive and defensive player grades. We're going to talk Tua Tagovailoa and this Heisman watch that everybody's talking about, and much more on the show. And of course, I'll be taking your calls at 205-686-3604. We got a ton of coverage on BamaInsider.com. So if you're curious to learn more about BamaInsider.com, you want to become a premium subscriber, go on over to BamaInsider.com and look for the free 30-day trial on BamaInsider.com. You can always email me at Kyle@BamaInsider.com. And as we always do on our show, we'll start you off with the Nick Saban press conference. So, and I'm going to open the line in just a minute. I'm already getting calls, I know. 205-686-3604. I'll get your calls in just a little bit. We got to warm up the show. Get everybody locked in. Got to get our fans from Hawaii into the show, plugged in. All right, so here is Nick Saban's press conference from yesterday following their victory over at Texas A&M. All right, here we go. This is Nick Saban.
How's everybody today? Well, it was a really good win for our team. We had a lot of respect for Texas A&M. Jimbo, the job that he's done there, they're very good offensively, and they're one of the top 5 teams in the country when it comes to offense. And we were fortunate today that we made a lot of big plays on offense. We really threw the ball effectively and scored a lot of points. But we really didn't control the game. We didn't control the line of scrimmage. We struggled to run the ball effectively with any consistency. And that's something that we need to work on. And you got to be able to finish the game. They should never get the ball back at the end of the game. One of these days we're going to be in a situation where the team goes 2 minutes to score to win a game. So there's certainly a lot of things that we want to work to improve on. But I'm very proud of the way our team competed in the game. It was a very physical game. Defensively, we did a good job on third down when we got them in third down, but I didn't think we finished the game like we'd like, so that we could, have an opportunity maybe to play more players, out there. Made some adjustments in the game. When they were in regular people, we started playing nickel some because they were hurting us with some passes. So there's certainly a lot that we can work on. There's certainly a lot that we need to improve on. I think our team has gone through, 4 weeks where, we've basically done what we're supposed to do. And I think we need a couple days off here tomorrow. And, Monday we won't practice and just watch the film and try to get some guys healthy and get some people back where we can, go for the next 4 games. I don't like to play more than 6 games without having 2 days off. I think it does the players a lot of good when it comes to recovery and healing up and all that type of thing. So that'll be the plan for us this week.
Coach, we'll start on the far side with Ben.
How important was the pressure you were able to get on their quarterback today?
Well, I think it was really important. I think that's one of the things that contributed to third down. We just had a lot of long yardage situations that I felt like if we would have executed a little bit better in the secondary, they wouldn't have made some of the plays that they made. And we're going to have to do a much better job in the future, no doubt, because we're going to play against a lot of good teams. They're a good team, but we're going to play against a lot of good teams. And we didn't do a very good job against quarterback runs, which was a really important part of what we're trying to do. He really hurt us with 3 big play runs. One was a quarterback draw, the other 2 were quarterback counters. So, we made some adjustment at halftime. I think we played a little better in the second half, but really didn't finish the game like you like.
Come back over here on the left with Michael.
Yeah, about those quarterback runs, they hit some big plays. What do you think happened on there? What did you see in terms of how that happened?
Well, we didn't play the plays correctly. They were counters. One player's got to come under and spill. The other player ran up the field. So, they just split us. And, they had a good plan against us, and they did a good job of executing it. And, when you got an extra blocker in a game and you run quarterback runs, and their quarterback certainly is very effective at doing it, You got to have an extra guy in the box all the time, and when they have a passing game like that, it's kind of hard to play the game that way because then you give up plays in other ways. So that's why they're one of the best offensive teams in the country, and Jimbo does a really good job of using his personnel.
Coach, right up here front, Chris.
All right, that was Nick Saban following Alabama's 45-43 victory over Texas A&M. Did you see the line for this next game against Lafayette? 49 points Alabama's favored by. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, there's no way Nick Saban's going to run it up this coming week. As I mentioned, I wanted to continue to move through some of these graphics, and I wanted to get kind of a look at the offensive grade outs for Texas A&M. But first, let's kind of look at the overall stats following Alabama and Texas A&M. So what you're looking at right now is the final stats between the two teams. As you can see, not much rushing yards from Alabama. So I think Texas A&M obviously did a good job loading the box. Even Damian Harris said that following the game. Harris, 7 rushes, 56 yards. Najee Harris, 8 rushes for 47 yards. Josh Jacobs, 6 carries for 11 yards. Scored one of the touchdowns along with Tua Tagovailoa, 4 carries, 10 yards. Passing-wise, Tua was fantastic through 3 quarters, 22 of 30, 387 yards with 4 touchdowns along 57, which came off kind of a pitch forward to Henry Ruggs. That wasn't a run. That was actually a pass. Receiving-wise, Jerry Jeudy continues his strong season. Didn't catch 2 touchdowns, but still fared very well. Very high grade out as well. 6 receptions, 78 yards. Irv Smith, who has been a very dependable target for Alabama, 4 receptions, 74 yards. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions, 56 yards. Henry Ruggs, 84 yards, including that 57-yard score from Tua. And Jalen Waddle caught 21 yards. And Hell Hentage, how about him? Big game inside the red zone. 2 touchdowns, 29 yards receiving. For Texas A&M, Kellen Mond, 18 carries, 130 yards, with 16 of 33 passing for 196 yards. Did a great job just battling throughout the game. He's a very good quarterback. Nick Saban mentioned that Alabama was going to have a tough time defending him, and they certainly did. 130 yards given up by a quarterback is unacceptable, and I think Nick Saban certainly wasn't happy after the game regarding that. These next stats are these are the defensive stats following the game. Dylan Moses looked like he got injured on that in the second half, kind of fell in the end zone. It was actually a security guard or someone along those lines who actually really got dinged up. Dylan Moses is going to be fine. After he was down for a little bit and the medics, were looking at him, he hopped right back up and was in the defensive huddle. 9 total tackles yesterday. It's pretty incredible being this is his only his second year playing inside linebacker. Xavier McKinney with a very big game. He's been playing lights out, had that quarterback sack off the safety blitz, 7 tackles. Isaiah Buggs, how about Buggs yesterday? My goodness, 3 sacks, 7 total sacks. Trayvon Diggs, 6 tackles as well. Trayvon Diggs has been playing lights out as well. Raekwon Davis, 4 tackles. Shaheem Carter, 4 tackles. Christian Miller, 4 tackles. Anthony Jennings, 1.5 sacks. And Patrick Surtain, we'll talk about him. He had 3 tackles and pretty incredible numbers that Patrick Surtain is putting up, including that interception that he had. It was really impressive to see what Patrick Surtain is doing because he's just he's really lights out this year as a freshman. And it looks like he's going to be the starting corner along with Trayvon Diggs. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, my name is Kyle Henderson. If you're just joining us, thanks for joining us on the program, 205-686-3604. Open the line up in just a few minutes. I want to take your calls. I want to talk about Alabama versus Texas A&M. I want to get your thoughts on this Alabama team. Is there any weakness when you look at this team, when you guys watch on Saturday, and I want your calls to be geared towards that. Is there any weakness that you see from this team? We know that Tua is balling out. He's playing at an incredible level. Offense looks just dominant, looks unstoppable. The defense, you could say the same thing for them. I know they did allow points and some big rushing yards with the quarterback last week. Texas A&M is a good team. Remember, they only lost to Clemson by 2 points. Besides that, the defense has been very solid, and especially the secondary. I really like what I'm seeing from Patrick Surtain. And here are the season offensive stats. I'm going to bring up on the next screen. These are total stats now going into week 5. Najee Harris still leads the team in rushing, 246 net yardage. Damian Harris, 230 yards. Tua actually has 103 yards. Brian Robinson, 90. Josh Jacobs, 88. Leading touchdown on the running backs is actually Najee Harris with 3. Receiving-wise, you have Jerry Jeudy, 17 receptions, 365 yards, 6 touchdowns. Devontae Smith. How about Devontae Smith's touchdown last game? My goodness. 14 receptions, 260 yards with 2 touchdowns. Irv Smith, 13 receptions, 196 yards. Remember, he's a tight end. Henry Ruggs, 11 receptions with 3 touchdowns. Passing-wise, Tua Tagovailoa, 58 of 80, 1,033 yards and 12 touchdowns. We'll talk about more of him in just a second. Here I want to bring up the defensive stats now as well. Let me get those for you guys. It's pretty. What this team is doing is pretty incredible. I mean, through the first 4 weeks of play, I'm bringing those grades up on the other side. Just give me 1 second. It's just a joy to watch week after week. And let me bring up those stats for you just on the other side. If I can find them. I'm pretty sure I loaded them. It's my bad. Give me 1 second. All right. Well, I can't find them. But here, I wanted to talk about Tua. And these are Tua's numbers through the first 4 weeks of play. Tua good, right? 58 of 80, 72.5%. Efficiency rating, look at that, 230.4, 46. That's crazy. 1,003 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaging per game, 258 yards. 20 of 31 of his drives have gone for a touchdown. 17 for 20 on third down. 17 for 20 on third down. 103 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns. And his grade on Pro Football Focus, his overall grade is 92.4. Tua Tagovailoa certainly making a case for the Heisman. And I was glad that we got to see Tua in this last game. I mean, he took over 50 snaps finally. And as you can, I'll leave the stats on there for just a second so you guys can screenshot those or look at those or however you want to spin it. But it was quite the showing last game against Texas A&M. Some of the balls that he threw were in such a tight window. And Hal Hintage said after the game, we spoke with him. He said that sometimes in practice, you just turn around and boom, it's just right there on your numbers. And Tua is really something special, and can't wait to see what he can do moving forward. Next on the graphic screen, I'm going to actually show you the offensive grades for these are the grades that Pro Football Focus provides right after the game. And you're going to see on the screen now the offensive grades against Texas A&M. So let me explain this real quick. So the star indicates if the player started, then you have the position. You have total, that's the number of snap counts that the player played. Pass, run, pass block, run, a run block. And then on the far right is their total offensive grade. The higher grade, the better the performance by the player. These guys are tough graders. So when you look at this, you can look at a 50 and you can be like, man, that player played like garbage. Maybe he did. Maybe that's what Saban keeps talking about. Yeah, this team is winning on the scoreboard, but maybe that's what Saban has seen. I mean, he's seen things that the typical fan is not seeing. And when you don't have perfection on the field, Saban can certainly see it. So let's go through these numbers real quick. Tua Tagovailoa, a grade of 83.4, played 52 snaps, as I mentioned. Next up, Irv Smith, 81.9. You can see him kind of there in that bottom section. 81.9 for a tight end. Very impressive in 38 snaps. You have Jedrick Wills, who has really been improving at right tackle, 64 snaps. A lot of these linemen, as you can see, they got just about 64 snaps each, right? There's the numbers for you right there. And Jedrick Wills is the highest graded lineman. Jonah Williams, that's really surprising to see him graded out so low because he's been a player that is graded out very well all season long. There at the bottom, Damian Harris graded out at 70.5 and 22 snaps. That's crazy that he only has to see 22 snaps. Same with Najee at 23 snaps. And throughout the year, Najee Harris has actually been Alabama's highest graded running back. So pretty interesting to see those grades when you look at it side by side. Let's see if I can bring these next grades up for you. These are the defensive grades against Texas A&M. Look at the top grade. That's Patrick Surtain. That's a true freshman. 74 snaps. a grade of 77.8. That is phenomenal for a freshman. That is just fantastic. I think he's going to start from here on out. And 74 snaps is a ton of quality reps for a freshman. Mac Wilson, 65.0. I know a lot of people want to see Mac Wilson's grade improve, but I thought he played really well yesterday, even having that interception. I think he had a pass breakup as well. Trayvon Diggs, a lot lower grade than I expected. These last couple of weeks, he's been playing really well. Xavier McKinney, similar in the grading factor. And remember, these guys grade very, very tough. Even Deontay Thompson, 72.9. How about Quinnen Williams down at the bottom? 87.7. Didn't have a quarterback sack, but he was after the quarterback all day long. And then you can see Isaiah Buggs, 80.2, and then Raekwon Davis at 75.3. So, you can take those numbers with a grain of salt, but it's fun to look at those numbers, and it's fun to really check these guys' grade outs week after week. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, it's Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com, 205-686-3604. We got a ton of content on our YouTube channel, but all the coverage is back on BamaInsider.com. I'm going to open the lines now, and I want to get your calls. I want to hear your thoughts on this Alabama football team. Do they have a weakness? What is their weakness if they have one? And who down the road could stop this team, if anybody? Because right now, it doesn't look like anybody in college football can stop Alabama. Hey, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
My name's Hunter. I'm from Hartford, Alabama.
All right, you're on the show, man. Thanks for calling in. Go ahead, shoot.
Yeah, I think we played very well this week. I think there's some couple things that kind of worries me with the defense. One being Kelly Mond being able to run against our defense. I think if we don't tighten up on that area of our defense, we're going to have problems down the road with some of the quarterbacks that we got to face, like Jared Stidham at the end of the year. And then you look at some of the other dual threats that are around the country, particularly at Georgia, we could have some problems. But I think we can, we can fix those. Those are easy fixes. But overall, I was very impressed with the win.
What have your thoughts been on the defensive line? Isaiah Buggs, Quinnen Williams, Raekwon Davis. Have you been pleased with their performance thus far?
Yeah, I'd say a guy that sticks out in my mind is Quinnen Williams. He's a guy who stepped in for Terrell Lewis, and he's really stepped up his game and filling that role. And I pay a lot of attention to the Alabama recruiting. And I remember when he was recruited by Alabama, them talking about how good of a player he is. And Isaiah Buggs is another guy who was underestimated at a junior college and has really stepped up and played very well for us. Even last year, I thought he was one of the best linemen we have. But I don't think with the player rankings that you just brought up on the show,
sure.
With Mac Wilson,
mm-hmm.
I think Mac Wilson is a phenomenal player. I think that was a way too of a strict grade for him. He had a unique interception there. I mean, I don't think just any player could have made that interception.
No, I certainly agree with that. Thanks for the call. Call in anytime. I certainly appreciate the call, and I do agree with you on Mac Wilson. Have a good night,
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, say it, man.
I'm very, very impressed with Patrick Surtain. Last year, following the recruiting cycle, we were up against him and Tyson Campbell, who's now at Georgia, and they both played at the same high school. And I was hoping we would get both of them, but I thought Surtain was the better of the two, and he's played lights out, like you said earlier. And so I've just been really impressed with him. And roll Tide.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Take it easy. Hey, the call online is 205-686-3604. Good call, by the way. Patrick Surtain, playing lights out as we saw earlier. Good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Trey from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, good to hear from you, Trey. I got love from Atlanta. You're on the show. Go ahead, shoot.
Yeah. So I just want to say I was impressed by the defense. We gave up a lot of yards to Kellen Tamon. But at the same time, we held them to field goals with a late touchdown, but I wasn't too concerned about that since the game was already out of hand. But 16 points, that's not so bad. So you said if we had a weakness, what would it be? And I'm very concerned about the kicking game. Yep. I think we shanked 2 punts, kicked one out of bounds. We've been missing PATs this season, and that's just something that worries me in the big games.
I appreciate the call, and thank you so much for calling in tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think I figured one of you tonight would bring up the kicking game, just because the kicking game, it seems like everything else is right where it needs to be. And then you have the kicking game. It's like every time the kicking game, whether it's, PATs even, or it's field goals or it's punting. I think punting right now, Skylar DeLong is having a tough time adjusting to the college level. And thankfully, Alabama doesn't need to use him that much. But I think when you get into critical games, that could come get him. And especially, it seems like it's just my opinion, seems like he's getting off his punts a little bit late. And, some of these better teams, you could see a potential blocked punt, and which could be critical in these bigger games that Alabama's going to have coming later on in the season. 205-686-3604. Give me a call. I want to hear your thoughts on Alabama versus Texas A&M. I want to hear your thoughts on Alabama overall. And does this team have a weakness? What is this weakness of this team? Nick Saban was asked, is this the best offensive team that he's had? And, it's tough for him. He doesn't like those hypothetical questions. But the way that this team is executing, and when Tua is really on, these guys are just very tough to beat, and Tua can certainly sling it. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're coming in great.
Okay. Hey, I'm calling from San Antonio, Kyle.
Okay.
Hey, look, the game was great. Obviously, I believe seems like they were stacking the box to stop the run.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't think that's going to affect us too much if Tua keeps playing the way he's been playing. Hey, but I just want to mention something about LSU, man. The LSU fans are talking a lot about how great they are. I just don't think they're that good. Can you tell me if they appear to be good as they are, or do they seem to be just a tad bit overrated? Thank you, sir.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. Thanks for calling in from San Antonio. Enjoy the Riverwalk. I don't know. I mean, LSU, they're coming around. I think Ed Orgeron certainly has his back against the wall this year, so they're certainly playing for coach, and I think that win over Auburn is really nothing to sneeze at. It's a big win over a quality football team. I have a lot of respect for Auburn, and I know Alabama does too. Got a very good quarterback, and, I think LSU, I got that game circled down as, one of the games that I think we all have that game circled down as one of the better games in college football. It's going to be in Baton Rouge, probably a late-night game. Those guys are hungry for Alabama, similarly built type team, big running backs. Looks like they finally got a quarterback. I can't wait to see LSU and Alabama, to be honest. That's going to be one of the SEC marquee matchups. 205-686-3604. Give me a call. I want to get your thoughts on Alabama versus A&M and Alabama in general. I want to hear your thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa. We could talk it all. Who's been the biggest surprise this year through 4 weeks? Has it been Patrick Surtain? Has it been Jalen Waddle, 2 freshmen? Has it been someone else? Has it been Quinnen Williams? Probably Quinnen Williams for me, to be honest, just because Quinnen Williams had such big shoes to fulfill replacing Deron Payne. I was the biggest fan of Deron Payne. Just in terms of he never really even had to say much. He just showed it out on the field. Then he got scooped up by the Redskins in the first round. And, you have on the ends, you have Raekwon Davis, you have Isaiah Buggs. I think we knew that those two would be staples. But the defensive tackle position, I think going into the season, could Quinnen Williams really continue the lineage at that defensive tackle position? And he has done just that. Quinnen Williams has been fantastic this year. He's actually the highest graded defensive lineman in college football, or he was actually entering this last season. So, Quinnen Williams certainly balling out. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Before we get going, could you please turn down your computer in the background so there's no echo?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, who am I on the line with?
Hey, yeah, man, this is Maurice from Tuscaloosa.
Hey, what's up, Maurice? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Just got off work, man. This is a beautiful day in Tuscaloosa.
Man, any day on a Sunday in Tuscaloosa is good, man. You got family, you got friends, you got church, you got good food. No, I'm feeling it, Maurice. So go ahead, you're on the show. Go ahead, shoot.
All right. Well, from my points of views from the game of this past, first off, I would like to say that it was a great game. I feel like we had a great game plan. We all knew that Jimbo would make it tough for us in the first half, but I was more so concerned about our kicking game. But not only that, will Jalen? Do you truly feel like Jalen will stay? I feel like me personally, I feel like he's in it for the long run, and he would just take his 1 year because he has just that much love for his teammates. But, you never know. So I was just trying to see what you feel about that.
All right. I appreciate it, Maurice. I'll answer on the other line, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Take it easy.
All right.
Regarding Jalen Hurts, so he's played 4 games. So if he plays another one, he loses the entire year, right? And he has to play the rest of the season, which I think is going to be the case. Seems like throughout this whole deal with Jalen and Tua, it seems like Jalen has really carried himself well, and I think he's been a teammate to Alabama, and I think that's really showed a lot of character for him. I think some of his comments earlier before the season started were probably misconstrued. I think there's a lot of it seemed like there was so much pressure kind of building, and then it just finally happened. And but I think Jalen has understood that his role in the team is to be the backup quarterback to the best college quarterback that there is right now. And that's a tough pill to swallow. It's even tough for Nick Saban. I mean, Nick Saban said in a recent interview with ESPN, it's not easy to sit Jalen, considering what Jalen has done and how he's contributed to Alabama. But the best have to play at this level. The best have to play for Nick Saban, and the best player is Tua Tagovailoa. I do think, just as everybody knows, Jalen will transfer at the end of this year. I mean, there's no reason for him to stick around and play backup to Tua. There's plenty of programs out there that Jalen could fit into and succeed. But what Alabama has right now with Tua is something very, very special. And you got to look at the quarterbacks behind Tua. You have Mac Jones, who I think is really improving. I'd like to see more from Mac Jones. I don't think we've seen enough of him just yet. And I think a lot has to do, obviously, with Jalen. Line is open, by the way, 205-686-3604. But you look at the quarterbacks from the 2019 class. Talia Tagovailoa. I mean, he's just throwing for 500 yards to his brother. You know what they say about the younger brother? Usually better than the older brother. I mean, could that really be the case? Maybe. And then the other quarterback you have coming in is Paul Tyson, the great-grandson of Bear Bryant. I mean, you couldn't write a better script in the future for Alabama football. And to have those quality quarterbacks come into Alabama, I think what's going to happen is you're going to still get these dominating running backs. Obviously, we all have our eye on Trey Sanders, the 5-star out of Florida, IMG Academy. But you're also going to start to turn heads of these big-time wide receivers. George Pickens is one that I know is probably more interested in coming to Alabama than he was, a couple months ago. Then you see what Tua's doing. Wan'Dale Robinson, a 4-star wide receiver, similar style to Jalen Waddle, was just in town for his official visit, and you can just read the story. Andrew Bone just dropped it on BamaInsider.com. Wan'Dale Robinson drops his whole scoop on his visit to Tuscaloosa. That's a good read. So go on over to BamaInsider.com. If you're not a subscriber, look for the free 30 days. And if you have any trouble signing up, you can always email me at Kyle@BamaInsider.com. 205-686-3604. I'm going to take your calls. I want to talk about this team going into week 5. They're a 49-point favorite over Lafayette. Wouldn't touch that. I mean, that's just way too many points. There's no way Nick Saban runs it up. Nick Saban, check this out. Now, 13-0 against former assistants. Him and Jimbo had met last year. Remember when Jimbo coached at Florida State? And then they meet this year as Jimbo is the head coach at Texas A&M. It's hard to beat the master, right? I mean, Nick Saban's out here playing chess. Everybody's trying to play checkers, and Nick Saban continuing to be, set himself apart from the entire pack. I got some more interesting stats right now from the game. Some will. These are some of the notes that Alabama sends out following the game. Defensive notes: turnovers. Alabama's 2 first-half interceptions gave the Crimson Tide at least one first turnover in 46 of their last 48 games, dating back many years. 121-7 under Nick Saban when leading at the half. Under head coach Nick Saban, the Crimson Tide is 121-7, winning percentage at 9.45. When leading at the half, Alabama led Texas A&M 31-13 at the half. First-time starters, Patrick Surtain became the 13th Crimson Tide student athlete to make his first career start this season when he took the field in the Tide's opening defensive snap against Texas A&M. In case you missed it, the game captains were Damian Harris, Hal Hentage, and Anthony Jennings. All those guys had solid game, including Hal Hentage, who caught 2 touchdowns against A&M. 205-686-3604. Want to get your calls? Want to hear what you have to say about this team. Is there any weakness on Alabama? And who do you have circled going forward on your schedule that could potentially give this squad a run? I mean, the two easy answers are probably Auburn and LSU, right? Got to be. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Terry Ann McCray, calling from Jackson's Gap, Alabama.
All right, good evening. Thanks for calling in the show. You're on the line. Go ahead and shoot.
I'm just very impressed with our team this year. Very impressed with a lot of the freshmen, Waddle and Surtain. I think Tua is probably the most impressive quarterback I have ever seen in my lifetime. He just is very instinctual, very accurate. I really don't think Alabama is going to be pressed in any game until they reach the national championship.
Thanks for calling in tonight. I sincerely appreciate the call. When you're watching the game and you see Tua leading this offense, what are your emotions? I mean, because the reason I ask is I haven't seen an offense like this in college football in quite some time. It's just what Tua does is just, it's so exceptional. So what are your emotions when Tua's on the field leading this offense?
I'm just so excited and proud as a long time Alabama fan, because I've been an Alabama fan for 50-something years. And I've never seen Alabama have an offense like this. And it's just incredible. I mean, it's just incredible.
Well, thank you so much.
I don't know another word to describe it. And I watched a lot of the other games Saturday. You know, a lot of people I think are worried about Mississippi State and worried about LSU. Mm-hmm. But really, I watched those games Saturday, and Mississippi State I do not think is as good as everybody thinks they are. Kentucky just dominated them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people like
LSU just, they lost their focus, and that little team almost come back and beat them.
Yes,
so,
they certainly did.
I mean, and then Georgia, I watched Georgia and Missouri, and, Missouri made a lot of mistakes that Georgia was able to capitalize on. And so Georgia's got a few problems too. So, that's why I said what I did about Alabama might not get tested until they reach a national championship.
Very, very good call. Thank you so much for calling in tonight. Have a good evening, man. Thank you so much.
You have a good night.
You too, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Great calling. I mean, I watched that Georgia and Missouri game as well. Missouri was in it. My fantasy college football quarterback is actually Drew Lock, and I actually didn't play him. I played the Texas Tech quarterback instead. Still lost. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling in the show tonight. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is D in Birmingham.
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good Sunday?
Yeah, pretty good Sunday.
All right, good stuff, man. Well, you're on the line, so go ahead, shoot.
Yeah, I just hear a lot of people saying that this is the best offense, best receiving core that Alabama's ever had. But I just wanted to get your opinion on something. I think that our receiving core last year probably was better. I just think the difference is just Tua just makes it seem like this offense is just the best that we've ever had. What do you think about that?
Well, by the way, I mean, Calvin Ridley, did you see him? What, 3 touchdown catches for the Falcons tonight? It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw that. And then Robert Foster, and then you add those 2 guys to the team that receivers we got this year. I mean,
Cam Sims, yeah. I don't know. That's a tough call because, those guys didn't get very many touches last year. But I have respect for Cam Sims. I have respect for Robert Foster. I'm a very fast wide receiver. But I think these receivers right now that Alabama has, very special. Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, each of those guys, pick your poison, right? And then you have Jalen Waddle. So I don't know, like head-to-head, maybe I might side with this year's class a little bit more. But
because if you think about it, if you got 2 or 3 in the last year's class, I mean, this offense is just as dynamic.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that. But, I mean, if Tua's spreading the ball around, I mean, those guys are clearly making plays in the league. So, I don't know. That's interesting to talk about. But I appreciate the call. Thanks for calling in tonight.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Take it easy, man. 205-686-3604. Let's talk some Alabama football. Let's have a good night. Let's end this Sunday with a bang. Feeling good tonight. So I want to take your calls. Let's talk about this year's squad. 49-point favorite taking on Lafayette. Here we go. We got one right here. All right. Good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
This is Miles from Hayden, Alabama.
All right. Good evening. You're on the line. So what you got for us?
Well, Tua had like a little pitch.
Yes.
But they were saying that, he didn't get he got passing yards for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a run. I just thought that was pretty interesting. It kind of, beefed up his stats a little bit and almost got to 400 yards. So that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, you're talking about when he pitched it to Henry Ruggs as a forward pass. You saw a lot of those come a couple years ago with Jalen Hurts to rack up those passing yards.
Yeah.
There's 57 yards added on. So you're right about that. And did you see on that play the block by Josh Jacobs? There wasn't 2, but there was 3. He blocked, I think, 3 guys on that play. It was incredible. Really liked that.
Yeah, it's really nice to see him healthy because he has just been really hurt a lot, and I'm glad to see him actually contributing to the team like that.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in the show. I certainly agree. It was a good call by Mike Locksley to get Henry Ruggs, one of the fastest players on the team, the ball and to pad those stats. So I appreciate you calling in tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
205-686-3604. Padding the stats, right? Locksley helping out his crew. And look, Locksley is the guy calling the plays. We talked to the players after the game. Mike Locksley, name that does not get brought up enough. He is doing a fantastic job in his first year with Alabama as their offensive coordinator. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. Where are you calling from, and who am I on the line with?
Jordan calling from Weaver.
Hey, Jordan, can you please turn down your speakers in the background so there's no echo?
Is that better?
Yeah, that should be good. So go ahead. You're on the line. What you got for us?
I'm sorry. I had the volume up. I couldn't hear. I was talking about how Alabama's doing and how you think, as good as Tua is, do you think Jalen might stay the rest of the year? Or do you think he may transfer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tua is having a phenomenal season. I mean, I posted those graphics up at the beginning of the show. Clearly the Heisman favorite up to this point. I know nobody wants to talk about that in Alabama's organization because that's rat poison. But, we all see it. I mean, he's playing exceptional. Yeah, I think Jalen's going to stay for the rest of the season. I don't know if, he's played these 4 games and going to dip out. Nothing would surprise me today in today's college football spectrum. But, from what I see, Jalen is going to stay and be that number 2 guy. Does that make a lot of people happy? Does it make them sad? I mean, does it really matter if Tua is healthy? Probably not. I think Jalen has serviced his team to the best of his abilities, and now it's Tua's show. So, we'll see what Tua can do the rest of the season. And the way he's playing right now, he's only going to get better. And, it's clearly Tua's team, and what he's doing is certainly special. You got anything else from us before you leave the show?
Yeah, I was just going to think, you think maybe he'll just stay and be a good backup to Tua and build as a quarterback like that? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think Jalen probably stay the rest of the year, graduate and then transfer out in December. I think he'll continue to work on his craft, and he'll be a great teammate to another club. It'll be tough for Alabama fans, to see Jalen in another uniform just because of what he's done for this team. Still had a big crowd cheer when he came onto the field, but his time is up here in Alabama. And, things change rather quickly at the highest levels, and now you got Tua. But I appreciate the call tonight. Thanks for calling in.
All right, thank you for letting me call in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, 205-686-3604, taking your calls. I want to hear about your thoughts on Alabama football, anything in between. I want to hear your comments on Tua, what you're thinking about Tua in terms of his quarterback rating, his efficiency, the yards that he's producing, how he's leading this offense. It's really incredible. And you guys, honestly, the way that Jalen handles himself has been pretty incredible. He's still over there patting Tua on the back, series after series. I'm in the stand, in the press box, and I see it. He's going to leave. He's going to transfer, and he'll go somewhere else. Where he'll go, I have no idea. Right? What do you guys think? Where does Jalen fit in? Do you guys care? I know a lot of people wouldn't be happy if he went over to Auburn. We went to Texas. But I guess that's a conversation for another time, because right now he's a teammate to Alabama, and he's the number 2 quarterback on this Alabama program. 205-686-3604. Good evening. Thanks for calling in. This is Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man? This is CJ. I'm from Newport News, Virginia.
Hey, thank you so much for calling in. You having a good Sunday today?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a great Sunday today. What about you, man?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for asking. Sunday, I'm a normal guy too. I got a family. Took the kids and the wife out to the Birmingham Zoo. Had a nice day, had a nice lunch, feel refreshed, ready for another week. So really blessed, and thanks for calling in the show. So you're on the line. Go ahead, shoot.
Man, sounds beautiful. But I'm an Alabama fan, been an Alabama fan for the past 10 years. But my only thing, I love Tua as quarterback. I know Jalen is now the backup, but he's been a great player. But I'm thinking, since Tua is great at passing, what does that mean for the running backs in Alabama?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question, and I think we saw that, with the yardage, these past couple games. We really haven't seen, Alabama hasn't really had to ground and pound, and it's interesting to see the distribution of carries. And how are those running backs feeling? I know everybody's a teammate and they all support winning, but those guys want the rock. Those guys want 20 to 25 carries, right? Damian Harris,
guys are hungry.
Exactly. Damian Harris, very politically correct, says all the right stuff. But you're telling me that you don't want the football 25 times a game if you have that type of talent, right? It to what could Najee Harris do with 25 touches? What could Josh Jacobs do? What could Brian Robinson do? Right? All of those guys are home run hitters, and they're only getting 5 to 6 touches a game. I know there's a lot of mouths to feed, but these running backs got to get fed. And with Tua being able to spread it out so much, he connected, I think, with 8 or 9 different receivers. That's great for the receivers, but in terms of the balance, it's been a little bit off. It's been different for Alabama, but I think it's Damian Harris said this yesterday when we talked to him after the game. Pick your poison. You want to die by the run, you want to die by the pass, because if you load the box, they're going to eat you up. And if you allow Alabama to run on you, hey, have fun with that, right?
Yeah, that's right, man. I've been thinking about that. I know those guys back there. They got a 4 or 5 headed monster in their backfield, and Tua, he's great. He has Arsenal in front of him and behind him. But it's like I see that Tua is using his arm and he's getting the ball out of there. Like those backs, like you said, they're hungry, and I want to see more of Josh Jacobs personally. Him, I want to see Najee Harris. I want to see Brian Robinson. It's a lot with that arm he's throwing, man, I don't know. Those guys, I don't know about their running game, but their passing game will be dominant for the rest of the season. I'm just worried about the running game. If they keep on relying on this passing, how they running? How would that fold? I want to see those guys eat, as well as Jerry Jeudy, as well as Devontae, all of them. But it's so many weapons. Like, how can you go about feeding all of these guys in the whole season? Like, how can you do that?
Yeah, a lot of mouths to feed. Thank you so much for the call tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Take it easy. Yeah, a lot of mouths. 205-686-3604. Man, Josh Jacobs runs so angry, right? It seems like he's just been like so eager to get onto the field and to just show the world how talented he is. I love that block that he provided for Henry Ruggs. He initially had one block, and then I think he took out two other defenders, clearing the path for Henry Ruggs to score a 57-yard touchdown. One of my favorite plays of the game. Another favorite play of the game was actually when Skylar DeLong punted. It went right to the 1-yard line, and Henry Ruggs sprinted out and caught the ball. Did you guys see that? It was incredible. That was an amazing special teams play. So while Skylar DeLong has a long way to go, he's going to get better. And with the talent that Alabama has, even on special teams, I think it's just a matter of finding that specific rhythm. But we have to get really nitpicky when we're talking about Alabama because they're just so talented at every single position. 205-686-3604. Want to take your calls, want to talk Alabama football with you and, get your thoughts on this squad and, get your opinion on, this team compared to, past teams that have that you've seen in Alabama. Did you guys see this score yesterday? Florida 47, Tennessee 21. What did you guys think about that? It was Did you guys see Jeremy Pruitt kick the whiteboard? It's like floating around on social media. Obviously, he's frustrated. It was like an offensive coordinator's drawing up a play on the sideline, and Pruitt, who was a former defensive coordinator here, goes over there and kicks the whiteboard. He's frustrated. And then there was another aspect that happened during that Tennessee game. I guess a player didn't want to go in, and Pruitt told him today or during the game, go home. These new rules in terms of playing only 4 games, it's going to get interesting to see what coaches have to face and what they have to deal with. Had an earlier caller talking about this game, Mississippi State and Kentucky. Kentucky beating Mississippi State, the big upset, 28-7. Got another call coming in. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling from? Hello, are you there? All right. Try to call back in. 205-686-3604. Taking your calls, talking Alabama football. This was LSU and Louisiana Tech, 38-21. What are you guys thinking about LSU? Now ranked number 6 in the country. Right? I mean, I don't know. They host Alabama this year. It's down in Baton Rouge. It'll be my first time in Baton Rouge. Going to that stadium. I'm excited about that one. But do they have enough talent on both sides of the ball to stop this Alabama team? I don't know. 205-686-3604. Want to hear from you on this Alabama team. Want to talk to Tonga Vailoa. Tell me what you think about his exceptional year that he's having for Alabama. Have you guys ever seen anything like it? The long Alabama fans who have loved Alabama for decades and decades. This is Tua, 58 of 80, 72.5 passing, efficiency rating of 230, 1,003 yards with 12 touchdowns, average per game, 258, 20 of 31 drives that have gone for touchdowns, 17 of 20 on third downs. That stat is crazy. 100 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. This other stat is crazy. Through 4 games, he has a passing grade of 92.4. I can't even believe that. Tua, just too good. All right, good evening. You're on the line. What's your name?
Hi, son. It's Mom from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Oh, thank you for calling in. Did you? It's good to hear from you. Catching me off guard.
I love your show. It's great. It's awesome. You're doing a great job.
All right,
it's fun.
Thank you so much. What are your thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa?
I think he's awesome. And last year, I thought it was great to see Jalen. I got to go to one game, and then this year I got to see Arkansas. But I do have a question for you. If Texas A&M, they played them right in Alabama, so does that mean next year they're going to travel to Texas? And have you been to that field? And what is the name of that field?
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. I'll get you on the other line. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, thanks, son. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Okay, thanks.
Mama Duke's calling in the show, right? Catching me off guard a little bit. She lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico, so every once in a while she comes out here to Tuscaloosa to see the grandkids and hang out. Good stuff. Yeah, usually, you go back and forth in terms of, the teams that you have to play, whether it's in Tuscaloosa or in College Station. And yes, the field in College Station is called Kyle Field. Setting me up for that one. Still taking your calls, 205-686-3604. I want to get your thoughts on this Alabama squad before we close it up. And I'll catch up with you guys, let's see, on Thursday. And let me know if the Thursday and Sunday shows have been working out for you. They've been working out for me. Hopefully that's a good time for you guys. I know 8:30 sometimes is late if you're on Central Time or if you're on Eastern Time. But we also have to account for our friends on the West Coast, especially our friends in Hawaii. I was doing a show, started doing the Sunday show at 10, and then I started doing the math on what time it was in Hawaii, and I was like, oh, oops, we're never going to get them to call in. So it's, I'm trying to figure out what the best time is to have these shows. And I sincerely appreciate you guys joining us tonight, 205-686-3604. It's great to catch up with you guys, and it's great to talk Alabama football. So if you guys have any more calls, let's be sure and get them in, and we'll close it out. So quick schedule for this coming week on BamaInsider.com. Monday, Nick Saban will have his press conference. That'll be Monday, but Alabama will not have practice in the afternoon. So if you're a subscriber, we drop practice insider reports in the afternoon section when Alabama has practice. They will not have a practice tomorrow, just a press conference. Tuesday, you will have practice again, so we'll get another insider report on BamaInsider.com. Wednesday, Nick Saban will talk during his evening press conference. That's at 6 p.m. We'll carry that right here on BamaInsider.com. And then on Thursday and Friday, we'll feed you tons of stat bombs, tons of interesting, stats regarding Alabama football, along with a preview of Alabama and Lafayette. That's Alabama 49-point favorite. Games at 11 a.m. Central Time. So early for that one. We'll see how many snaps Tua has to play in that one against Lafayette. And then Alabama, if we look at the schedule, I have a schedule right in front of me. Moving forward, you got Arkansas. That'll be I don't know. Arkansas lost to North Texas. You have Missouri. That game will be for homecoming on October 13th. Alabama will then travel to take on Tennessee and former defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt. LSU is on November the 3rd. November the 10th will be Mississippi State. November 17th will be the Citadel, right before the big one with Auburn. That'll be Thanksgiving week, right? November 24th. That's a schedule lineup for Alabama. Still taking your calls, still around, 205-686-3604. Want to talk to you about Alabama football and what you guys think about this squad before we close it up here on BamaInsider.com. You know what we'll do right now? I'm going to take you guys for a spin on the Talk Champions. And remember, we got some good recruiting scoop. Andrew Bone just dropped a good story on Wan'Dale Robinson, the 4-star, right? All right, so I'm going to take you guys on a little tour of our message boards, okay? The message boards are from premium subscribers only. And it's good to go inside the premium message boards. And these are hardcore fans. And listen, they are mad. Our fans, they are critical of this team. And they expect perfection from me, from our staff, from the team, from Saban. So this is the Talk of Champions forum. And this is, let's do this thread for Najee Harris, okay? All right, this is Najee Harris. Let me scroll up to the top. Sorry if it's kind of confusing seeing it on your guys' screen. Scroll up to the top. Huh. Give me 1 second. All right. This is regarding Najee Harris. Is Harris going to get frustrated by lack of carries? I know we have to divide the carries and think Damian Harris is by far our number one running back. What do you guys think moving forward? He seems upset by the lack of carries. He probably is. Every running back wants to carry the ball. I'd ask the same question after the game. Apparently, a boot during this week, so maybe that had something to do with it. He got the most carries, which is true. Well, if he is the best back, he will have to get the most carries. Najee has not impressed me yet at all. He's clear number 3 to me. I don't know. I mean, getting back to Najee and getting back to these running backs, these guys clearly want to be fed. They want the ball. They want to be the guy. They want, 20 touches. Of course, they're never going to come out and say it. It's got to be tough to be a running back for Alabama, especially, with the arsenal that they have. And knowing that Damian came back for his senior year, I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. Probably not even the running back room, right? Because if Damian wasn't here, then it would be Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, and Brian Robinson, and then the younger Jerome Ford. But now you have Damian still in the mix, still due for his big opportunity to hit 1,000 yards. And did you know, if he hits 1,000 yards, he'll be Alabama's first running back to run for 1,000 yards in 3 consecutive seasons? Pretty incredible stat right there. Still taking your calls, still around 205-686-3604. As I always do towards the end of the show, always want to say that we appreciate our United States military. And if you are past or present, if you're a veteran, we sincerely give you a civilian salute from our staff. It's a great privilege to live in this great country, and we certainly appreciate what you do for us. You can catch all our coverage back on BamaInsider.com. My email is kyle@BamaInsider.com. And answer all your customer service questions. Remember, we got some good recruiting scoop from the weekend. Wan'Dale Robinson took his official visit to Alabama. Got a call. All right, good evening. It's Kyle Henderson. You're on the line. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling from?
Hey, what up, man? This is David again from Utah.
Hey, what's up, David? How's Utah treating you, man?
Team is good.
You been
desert.
You been safe on the road?
Yeah, yep.
I know you
on the road.
I know you drive those trucks, man. So I was thinking about you, man. So what's up, man? What you got on the show? Go ahead, shoot.
Just calling I was impressed with the way Tua performed. I'm starting to think Texas A&M. To me, I think they might be a legit top 15 team.
They
just
weren't
the
bad.
way they
Yeah.
performed against Alabama, and then also them coming close to beating Clemson.
Yeah, those are two tough dogs to take on, early on, and they played Clemson well, and they did their thing against Alabama.
Yeah, because I still thought Alabama could have ran the scoreboard up at the end, but then Nick Saban is.
No, he's not going to do that. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Texas A&M, upsets LSU or Auburn. Because Bimbo, it seems like that guy's doing a really good job coaching his team down there.
Yeah, he probably has low stress too, right? 75 million guaranteed. I mean, I think it'd be it'd be pretty easy to sit back and be like, all right, that was a tough loss, but let's go back to the drawing board. 75 million guaranteed probably makes it a little bit easier. What do you think about the defense so far? I mean, were you they gave up, a lot of yards, like you said, to Munn on the ground and through the air, but you still believe that this defense has what it takes to counter the offense in terms of superior production to stop, the upcoming opponents?
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Alabama, the thing about those two, I think it was like just two main runs that the quarterback had on us that really kind of made our defense look bad. But one of them, like, it was our D line. He was like 2 inches away from tackling him. I think he got a piece of his shirt. So I mean, our defense, to be honest, they're still on top of it, man. Like, the best teams out there are throwing quarterbacks. So I don't see us really, being threatened. Clemson, they don't know what their deal is with their quarterback, and I think their thrower is actually a better quarterback than their running quarterback. But Ohio State seems like they're the only one that can probably come close, but they're giving their quarterback's not a runner. And he kind of is. He's kind of like a tool, but he's not a 4 or 5 like, Kellen Mond was. So, yeah, man, I think our defense is still on point. Just got to brush up a little bit of things here and there. But so far, man, they seem to impress me.
Yeah, well, good stuff. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Be safe on the road, and we'll catch up with you next time. Please call in again.
Yeah, bro, thanks.
All right, man, take it easy. 205-686-3604 on the line for just a few more minutes before wrap it up and start another week of Alabama football coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show tonight. Hope we've provided you another avenue of content for you to watch, to listen to, and just to talk Alabama football. Is really a pleasure of mine to be with you here tonight. Leave the line open for just a few more minutes, and then I'll close it up here on BamaInsider.com. All our coverage back on BamaInsider.com. You can follow us on Twitter at BamaInsider. Same on Facebook, Facebook.com/BamaInsider. But all our coverage, like I keep saying again and again, is on BamaInsider.com. Let me give you guys a little teaser of that Wan'Dale Robinson interview that Andrew Bone just dropped on the site, and then I will say good night to my friends out there on our YouTube channel. And I'm thinking about doing a couple other things moving forward on this YouTube channel. So I just, really am seeking feedback from you guys. And if you guys even have some critical feedback, I want it. I want to hear from you guys, and I want to give you guys a really good product. So let me roll this out for you guys. I'm trying to bring up the Wan'Dale Robinson interview on the left side, so just give me 1 second. Have to wear multiple hats. All right, here we go. All right, this is let me take this call actually. All right, good evening. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. What's your name and where are you calling from?
All right, so you're a pussy bitch.
All right, well, thanks for calling. That was nice, right? You're getting some negativity. Well, they say when you're getting negativity, you kind of made it. So I wouldn't go that far, but that was an interesting call as well. All right, here we go. Wan'Dale Robinson recaps his official visit. And this was just dropped by Andrew Bone, a Bama insider. Wan'Dale Robinson, 4-star receiver out of Western Hills High School in Frankfort, Kentucky, arrived in Tuscaloosa on Saturday morning with his parents. He spent more than 24 hours on an official visit with the Crimson Tide and watched the Tide roll to a 45-23 win over Texas A&M. It was phenomenal, Robinson said about his visit. Arguably the best football environment I've ever been around. My parents loved it. Everything they have to offer blew me away. And you can read the entire story on BamaInsider.com. Interesting calls tonight, man. We're really spinning it right now, right? So right, we got another call coming in. It's the same number. No, I'm not going to answer. Good stuff. But as I always say on the show, be good people out there. Be good to each other. Avoid the haters. Give them a sidestep. Be good people, right? Be good to each other. Again, United States military, we salute everything that you guys do. Appreciate living here. And have a great day. Have a great week. Be productive. And we'll catch you guys soon on BamaInsider.com. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson signing off. Good night, everyone.